pay!
No way!
We won't pay!
No way!
We won't pay!
Next up, Brid Smith, People for Profit CD.
Just to add a few things to Paul's comprehensive, I think very comprehensive and accurate description of what's just happened. You see, when you're in there, you're in a bit of a bubble, and sometimes you don't realise, and I certainly am in a different category to Paul because he was the last time, and now we're in a new environment. And in that new environment, what we're dealing with here is a very weak government and a very nervous government who, if they get pressure from the movement, from people like you guys, they really do feel we have to do something and we have to do it quick. Last week when Simon Coveney stood up to respond to the private, wasn't private members, a series of questions on topical issues that we put before them, there'd already been two set-tos with Enda Kenny on this. The first one when I raised it after receiving loads of emails with the bills attached from yourselves, and he hadn't a clue. He hadn't a clue what he was talking about. He hadn't a clue what pay by weight really meant or what the stand-in charge was. He asked me to email on all the emails, which I've done. He hasn't commented on them since. The following week, Simon Coveney stood up under the series of topical issue questions that we raised, and he was visibly shook. Within a week, he was visibly shook and was on the back foot immediately and telling us, I agree with Deputy Smith, we need to act quickly. This is going to come in the 1st July and it will be punitive on households, and we do have to take into account waivers for people who have nappy issues and are on HSE, issues and having to put nappies in bins. But he did not mention, and they're not mentioning tonight either, what they're going to do about the stand-in charge, which has doubled in the case of Thornton's, doubled in the case of Greyhound, and doubled in the case of Thornton's and tripled in the case of Greyhound. And I have emails from people in Tipperary, in Offaly, in Athlone and in Kerry where the same thing is happening. Even worse, some of the smaller companies are quadrupling the stand-in charge. And these guys haven't mentioned that in their amendment to our motion. All they're focusing on is the pay by weight, how good it is for recycling, how good it is for the country. Well, here's the secret. We are at the top of the pecking order when it comes to the level of recycling in the European Union. The Irish are really high up there when it comes to the level of recycling. When I sat on the Environment Committee in the City Council, we were given the figures on a monthly or bi-monthly basis, and they increased all of the time. People already recycle in a very firm way and are committed to it. The pay by weight will probably reverse that, because instead of recycling stuff, you're going to put the heavier stuff into the lighter bin and contaminate the lighter products. The pay by weight is not about more recycling, it's about improving their profits. And the other thing that the pay by weight will do is that it will load the extra work created by the mechanism of weighing and delaying the couple of seconds in and out of the bin. It'll load that extra time, which could be up to 8 hours in a week, onto the workers. The workers who are already screwed, who are already underpaid, overworked, and often working in very, very dangerous situations. The recommendation from the Health and Safety Committee is 3 workers per bin truck. How often have you seen 2 workers per bin truck, a driver and one other? That was why a man was killed in Smithfield, a Polish worker, when there was nobody beside him to hit the alarm button, and he got tapped into the truck when he got caught. So these are all issues that are to do with the cowboy industry that the Irish waste management industry has rapidly become. I've had emails and phone calls from people in Mayo, in Galway, in Tipperary, in Meath, and I'm sure all the other deputies have as well, not about the pay by weight or the stand-in charge, but about the abysmal, terrible anti-environment, anti-people behaviour of these waste management companies. How they gobble up resources, how they're supported by the state, how they're given preferential planning by the EPA and licences by this, that and the other, and then when it suits them, they walk away and leave environmental dirt and destruction behind them. And who picks up the pieces? You and me do, the taxpayer, because it's the local authorities that have to clean up after them. I live in an estate that suffers from constant smells, fly infestation and disruption to our lives behind Thornton's. And when they start packing the brown bin contract, which they have for every hospital, every college and McDonald's in this city, when they start packing and bringing that, bailing that down, we suffer badly across that estate from odour infestation and fly infestation. You ring the EPA and they come out and they go, sorry, we don't get it. We don't get the smell. They don't live there. They live in Blackrock, they live in Foxrock, they live in Castleknock. They do not live in Ballyfermot, and they certainly don't live in Clover Hill Road that's constantly being afflicted by the road. So it isn't just about, at the end of the day, this is about the privatisation of waste management. There's a bigger fish for us to fry here. We're winning, your head should be high, and one of the reasons there's less people here tonight is because there's an understanding that we have won this one, because they have postponed it. But this should be called the government of suspenders and suspensions, because that's what they're doing. Suspending water, suspending waste management, because they fear the power of the people. And that is all they're doing. But we have to organise in political parties, in community action, to ensure that the agenda of putting profit before people is driven out of this state. And that does mean remunicipalising waste management, bringing it back into public control, getting rid of the cowboys and the sopranos out of this industry who are robbing us, and not only robbing us of our money, but destroying our environment and our health. That's my agenda, that's your agenda, and we have to work together, organise together, and stay on the streets and keep fighting to achieve that. But hold your head high tonight. You've beaten that share back again, and we will make a show of Fianna Fáil tonight if they back the government again.